Welcome to Technocracy News with your host, Patrick Wood. I'm your co-host, Logan House. Today we have scientists warn governments must bomb AI labs to prevent the end of the world. Musk leads XAI Colossus2 first Gigawatt AI data center. Agent pyramids are about to revolutionize global financial infrastructure. And suddenly the robots appeared. Patrick, how you doing?
We're doing great. I'm back in the saddle again in Phoenix, Arizona. That's where I belong.
back from California.
Exactly. Yeah. So the interesting trip. We had a great time and got a little bit of R&R on the ranch. Not our ranch. I wish I had a ranch, but I don't. But we have friends that do. So we hung out with the cattle.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we got scientists warn governments must bomb AI labs to prevent the end of the world. And who are these scientists?
Well, actually, they're top scientists. They're running an AI research lab concerned with safety, and they're both brainiacs for sure in the programming space. But they're together in this organization. Can't remember the exact name of it. It's in the article here. Shoot. You can find it. I don't see it right off. But these are top scientists, and they're claiming at this point, well, the odds are probably 95% to 99% certain that AI will eventually destroy the world. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but nevertheless, when you see people like this talking about in those terms, yes, you got to pay attention. You just can't write them off as conspiracy theorists. These are people at the top of their field. They're getting these warnings. And basically, they concluded, based on the model that they made and the example that they made with this artificial intelligence system that they kind of made fiction, but nevertheless they're playing it through. They said the end of this whole thing will be that the governments of the world will end up bombing all of these data centers. It's like, this is crazy talk coming from two top scientists. And that just made me think, and maybe this isn't the real story here, but I just can't help but think, what's with all this talk all of a sudden about ending the world? You have people like Peter Thiel is talking about Armageddon and the Antichrist, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have, of course, the Christian world talks about the Antichrist and in a more certain terms, biblical terms, and we talk about Armageddon as well. Then you have the Islamic world. We often forget that they have their own version of the apocalypse called the Mahdi. The Mahdi is their version of the Antichrist, and the Mahdi is going to come on the scene, and he's going to wreak havoc around the world. It's like the apocalypse. And so then you have Peter Thiel. He's talking about the Antichrist incessantly now. And just by the by, President Trump yesterday basically declared war on Russia. So you can make your own conclusions there. How is this going to end? Well, basically, he said Ukraine is going to take back all the real estate that they've lost to Russia during this war. That means that NATO has to be involved to help them do that. There's lots of consequences, I'm sure, but I can't imagine that Putin is going to stand by and let this happen. So there's a threat there as well. So that's just talk at this point, bluster, I'm sure, but all this talk about Armageddon is kind of disturbing in a way, Who would have thought 5 years ago that this would be the major discussion point today? Well, all these vectors are coming together in one common thread, basically it's the end of the world.
Yeah. And these scientists who did this piece, they actually put together a fictional, kind of laid out how they could see AI taking over. And they created a fictional AI model called Sable, who was basically deceiving its creators, doing things that it was not programmed to do in the back end. And eventually got to a point where it was mining crypto to pay engineers to build stuff. And it got to a point where it was controlling labs to create bioweapons and all types of stuff, which sounds crazy, but it's really, when you think about it, I mean, once all these labs are ran by robots that are controlled by AI, I mean, it could be hacked and taken over. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
You're right, and when they created this thing called Sable, Sable, excuse me, not stable, but Sable. That's an animal, isn't it? Isn't there an animal called a sable?
Sable-toothed tiger or something, right?
Yeah, maybe. But in any case, they basically took technology or the errors of today, and they wove that into this model, right? So they're not saying that that this kind of thing could not possibly happen. It already happened with some model of AI along the way, the deceiving part especially, and the wanting to perpetuate itself, for instance. And so they just aggregated all of these different scenarios into one place. And then, of course, they extend it a little bit because they have to do that. But the end of it is they said, well, the governments of the world are going to bomb all these data centers. I've been thinking for a long time, honestly, that's the only way to get rid of these things, because if we don't, they're going to basically take over all humanity, even at the hands of somebody, a technocrat or whoever is going to set the policy. But at some point in time, it's going to take over the world, and it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah. Well, I guess a sable is a small little animal, I was thinking of a saber tooth. But anyways, it's not just these scientists that are saying this, that AI could take over the world. It could, be the end of the world. The very creators of the AI are saying this. Sam Altman's talking about how dangerous AI can be. Elon Musk is talking about how dangerous it can be. But their solution isn't to stop progressing; it's to keep going for some reason.
This is kind of a thread of the concept of accelerationism, where you accelerate whatever you're doing, accelerate it to the max until it breaks something, and then what happens after that? Well, who knows? But this crazy concept of accelerating everything until it breaks. You can see how Sam Altman can say that on one side, where we're going to destroy the world. Then he goes out and does it anyway. Yeah, they can't stop themselves at this point. They're driven to get to the end of it, and the faster that they can accelerate the whole thing, the better.
It's crazy. Well, right around that realm, I mean, Elon's been saying the same thing about how dangerous it can be, but here he is. He's in Memphis, just about 30 minutes from where I'm sitting, and he's building, the XAI data center, and he's been building, new buildings and adding on, and now he's the first gigawatt AI data center.
He wants to be. He wants to. That's how it's scheduled at this point. And by the way, all of these mega centers together are consuming multiple gigawatts of power. But this will be the first one that consumes 1 gigabyte or gigawatt itself. That doesn't include Colossus2. That's another thing, right? So Colossus2 is under construction right now, as I understand, right?
I think so.
They broken ground on it, and it's basically they bought another parcel of land, I think, adjacent to Colossus2.
Wow. Wow.
So, okay, so where's this going to go? Well, listen to these statistics. There are already 1,240 up and running AI data centers across America. Just think about that for a minute. That's about an average about 20 per state. Now, obviously, not every state is so saturated like Virginia is, for instance, and Maryland and Arizona. I didn't realize that Arizona is a major hub for AI data centers at this point, but it is. And we can least afford to lose the water and also the energy, but nevertheless, that's our problem, not yours. But now, what Elon Musk is going to do to power his new data center with 1 gigawatt of energy, he's bought 30 Titan 350 gas turbines, combined delivering 1.1 gigawatts to the data center. This is not going to be funded by your energy grid initially, at least, but it'll be fired by these. They're kind of portable. I don't know how they can be portable, but I think they're on wheels initially. Somehow they bring them in and they bolt them to the ground, and then they're fired up. But collectively, these gas turbines will generate all this electricity. And where are the environmentalists at this point? They're nowhere to be seen. You'd think they'd be screaming bloody murder at this point, because he's doing this, putting all these gas turbines in line with each other. But they did the same thing with the first Colossus, you might remember, as well.
Yeah, and they did. So, I'm pretty sure they didn't really have permission for that either, did they?
They didn't. They just went in and did it.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we got a break. We'll be back here in just a moment. We have a big announcement, folks, something we've been waiting on for several months, and it's now here. It's called Bella Melt. You were on it for just 1 week when you lost 3 pounds. So in the first week, you lost 3 pounds on this, right?
That is correct.
Your GLP-1 is a natural hormone that's in every single one of our bodies. And your GLP-1 lets you know if you're full. It's a satiety hormone. So when your GLP is working properly, it does help suppress your appetite as well as reduce those cravings. It's a sugar-free fast melt caramel. So what it's going to do best is it's going to reduce your sugar cravings or any other cravings you have in your body. It's going to suppress that appetite. But where Melissa got the most benefit, I think, over the last week was the L-carnitine. The L-carnitine tells your mitochondria, this is where you make, we've talked about it before, this is where you produce energy in your cells. It actually tells those mitochondria to burn fat for fuel. We're noticing other people losing up to 7 pounds in the first week. 4 pounds has been about the average. As you lose weight and as you take these Bella Melts, it's going to help lower that blood sugar in your body as well.
All the information is there. MelissaHouseBG.com, MelissaHouseBG.com. Just now introducing for the first time Bella Melt with GLP-1 Fast Action. We live in uncertain times. In fact, we live at a time when our own governments all over the world are warning us that there could be big problems with our power grid. World War III seems to be right on the horizon. Let me ask you this. Do you have a satellite phone? Should communications go down with cell towers? Do you have a satellite phone to get a hold of that college student or your spouse who travels, whatever it might be, to get a hold of your senior adult parents? We have satellite phones at worldviewtalk.com, and you get the satellite phone for free when you sign up for their very reasonable payment programs for the service. Sign up for the service with a reasonable contract, get the satellite phone for free. Worldviewtalk.com. You'll also find they have, well, what I now have, which is a solar generator. Yeah, I have a gas generator, an LP propane generator, but what if that goes down? I want to back up to my backup. So I now have a solar generator as well. You'll find them at worldviewtalk.com. Check it out today, worldviewtalk.com. All right, welcome back from the break. We left off talking about Colossus2, which Musk is building now next to Colossus1 in Memphis here. And they're going to be using 30 Titan 350 gas turbines, delivering 1.1 gigawatts to the data center in Memphis. And they're also building, I believe, a water treatment center that is going to be taking sewage water, treating it, and using that to cool off these machines, which is better than using our water supply. I'd rather him be doing this and using the gas turbines than using our energy and water supply, I guess, right?
Exactly. The computing power of these data centers, that's not something that anybody wants to talk about at this point. They talk about the energy, but you don't see a lot of the press talking about, well, how many petaflops or zettaflops can be processed by these data centers. In other words, how powerful are they? I don't have a good beat on that, but I think if we added it all up together, we would be stunned with the amount of horsepower that these data centers are going to be putting on controlling everything in sight. And this is all about control. We know this is all about a control system that will be able to take all the information from society, all of the Internet of Things data coming out off of cities, all the health data that's coming off the health system, all the tax data that's coming out off the IRS, et cetera, all of the other data feeds out of Washington, D.C. You know, this basically adds up to a total system of control, even to the extent where they can create a digital twin of everything, including people and buildings and cities and blocks and neighborhoods, et cetera. And why do they need to do that? The only reason is just to control everything. It's not about research. We have research tools because we use AI for some things, but that's not this. This is not about that at all. This is about this flat out control to control all of the things in society.
Yeah, there's
this
no way.
So dangerous.
There's no way, as we've said many times, that these data centers are all being put up for our use, for consumer use of AI chatbots. And just to kind of put it in perspective, 1 gigawatt of power that is going to be running this Colossus2 is it says here, according to Google, that can power 700,000 to 1 million homes.
That's right. That's
700,000 to 1 million homes of power being used by one data center.
Exactly.
And that's not counting Colossus1, the data center that's already up.
Exactly. And how about the Google center that's coming online over the river, other side of the river? Well, yeah, all combined, I'm sure there's more power consumed with all three of those than your entire metro area in Memphis area.
Yeah.
That would include, I think, maybe 2 million people or so.
Well,
it's big. You live in a big area.
Yeah.
All that said.
Yeah, for sure. And it just puts it in perspective on how big this is, how big of an operation this is, and that there's no way that this is being used to power grok.
Yeah.
As in the grok we use today.
Yeah. That's exactly. Yeah. All these so-called harmless companion apps, and the bots that are created to run all of those. There's at least 200 million users sucking data off these companion apps. Well, that's just chicken feed. They can do it, and it's going to have a totally destructive effect on society. But that's chump change. compared to the power, the horsepower that these data centers can churn out to control everything in society, every conceivable smart device, Internet of Things devices, the Internet of Bodies as well. And, well, it's going to be a dystopian future if we don't stop it somehow. Tell you what.
Yeah. Well, he's also using not just the gas turbines. He's got a bunch of those Tesla power packs there as well. And we had a city official here in the studio like 2 weeks ago or last week. And he was saying that Elon told the city that if needed, they could run off the Tesla power packs for 2 days, which is kind of mind-boggling to me. I don't know. I mean, I guess those things give out a lot of energy, but I don't think that was referring to Colossus2. I think that was just referring to the first initial data center.
He can stack these batteries up until the cows come home.
Yeah. Basically,
it doesn't matter. And of course, their idea is if the power goes down or a cyclone hits or a tornado or whatever, he has reserve power at that point to power his own stuff. Now, you have to consider what would be the effect if all of a suddenly, if all those data centers went dark at the same time. You can't just fire them up again, by flipping a switch at that point. They consume too much power. You have to also consider would it ruin the hardware and the like the chips and stuff if the power was shut off. That nobody can answer that question at this point. So he's making his own battery backup system to make sure he continues in operation, so their data centers don't stop processing our data.
Yep. All right. Well, the next story we have is agent payments are about to revolutionize global financial infrastructure. What is this talking about?
Who knew that while all of this talk about cryptocurrency and the structure, the regulation system is being erected to do the crypto thing in Washington, D.C. is all privatized, mind you. It's not run by the federal government at all. But alongside of that, there's been a new system called AP2, and this refers to, let me get it in the article. AP2, I got in my head. Shoot, I can't get my eyeball on it here. AP2. Well, it's basically it's a payment system using cryptocurrencies, tokens.
Yeah,
and dollars as well. But this has been a standard that has been quietly developed, I think, by all of these other organizations, not the banks, mind you. But look at the picture on the head of this article. This is some of the participants to build this AP2 protocol to send transactions all over the world. Now, this is not the crypto itself. This is just the mechanism to transmit it,
which is necessary.
It's necessary. So they've been quietly working on this, and all of a sudden I saw this article come up that explains exactly what they've been doing. I wasn't watching this myself. I probably should have been, but I wasn't. And it shocked me that they're announcing now that AP2 is ready to go, ready to rock all around the world.
So basically, they're announcing that the foundation needed for a stable coin, government, backed stable coin is ready to go.
Exactly. This will change the nature of global finance for sure.
And these are some of the biggest financial companies. I mean, you got American Express, PayPal. All these companies, Dell. These are some huge companies working together for this. And Coinbase, I saw down here, it's Coinbase, Google, and numerous others. So Coinbase and Google as well.
Exactly. Now, the thing that sets this apart from any other system is that it can be the payment system itself can be driven by AI agents, not people necessarily. But you can set up an AI agent to process even micropayments, that's sub 1 cent payments, and AI can drive the whole process without a human being involved. Just think for the implications here. AI agents can talk to other AI agents on the other side of the world to process and conclude a transaction for you, and you're not even there.
Yeah.
Just think of the possibilities here. Well, let's say that I can set up a system on Technocracy News.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that much traffic, but nevertheless, say I do. I can charge my users 1/10 of a cent to view an article on my website. Who could not afford that, right?
Yeah.
I can set this up using an agent payments AP2 system to make sure that all those people get charged 1/10 of a cent every time they come to my website. It's under my control now, but it's in the control of the AI agent processing it in the first place.
And this, I mean, you said think of the possibilities. I can think of one pretty big one here is charging people based off of energy consumption and movement and stuff like that. If you're able to just charge someone based off of, I mean, without basically without them doing anything to
That's right.
transact that charge, then, Gary went up the street to the grocery store, and so he's getting charged for the carbon emissions that he put off driving up to the grocery store.
I know this is a big thing, and coupled with the concept of tokenization of everything at this point, this is a big thing. So this is one more cog in the machine and the gear to make the whole system work.
Yeah, and in that realm, I mean, isn't Hawaii already implementing carbon tax?
Oh yeah,
it's not a foreign theory or mechanism that's already being used.
Yes, exactly. This would give governments and corporations alike the ability to charge you for stuff in a with a micro charge, and maybe you get a bill for a buck or 50 cents, and you say, "What's this all about?" And well, you'll be all these charges added up to your account behind the scenes, and multiply that, but by 8 billion people on the world. That's pretty ugly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, we're all out of time. We had one last story, and that was about AI robots. So maybe we'll have to push that one off to next week.
Yes, we will.
But until then, take care.
God bless.